Welcome, everybody, to the Slack on Flicks podcast. I'm your host, film critic and 16 News Now producer Benjamin Slack. Well, we are in the final week of August right now, which is so hard to believe. It feels like only yesterday I was recording the episode for the first week of August. But what's even more incredibly hard to believe is the stark difference between the two separate films that hit the big screen this previous weekend. One assembled an all-star cast consisting of Margaret Qualley, Chris Evans, Charlie Day, and Aubrey Plaza, about the story of a private detective that's investigating a series of deaths tied to this neighborhood church. This is Honey Don't.
Honey O'Donoghue, to what do we owe the honor?
Me, Novotny. Are you aware of any trouble she was in?
Well, she owe you money?
She was afraid of something the cops couldn't help her with.
I see a need, and I fill it.
You see a need and you exploit it.
The film starts off promising with the cast itself and an eerie opening set up. However, as it progresses, nearly everything descends into a confusing experience. Plot details that become holes, the acting begins to feel forced, and the script feels more lost than a trip to the lost world.
I just loved it. I loved Honey, and, I'm reading through the lens of knowing Ethan Coen and Trisha Cook, so I was really excited.
While some twisted comedic moments do indeed stand out, the best way to describe Honey Don't is the way I always tell people about Jurassic Park 3. Just because you have a star-studded cast and a behind-the-scenes team that's done some promising work before does not always mean that you're going to make box office gold. Honey Don't unfortunately ended up on the slacker scale with a solid D. The next film that we're going to be discussing made its way to the #1 spot in domestic box office dollars, $18 million. It was originally released on Netflix back in June, but due to its popularity and a sing-along version being released this previous weekend, it decided to go big by going to select movie theaters. This is K-Pop Demon Hunters.
The world will know you as pop stars. But you will be much more than that. Let's get battle ready.
Now this is like an anime Hannah Montana mixed in with the humor and campiness of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the heart and visuals of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Try to wrap your brain around that. We follow a popular girl group who live a double life as fighters against the forces of evil. Everything is cool until a boy band, who are secretly demons, arrive on the scene to take care of the girls' fan base in a twisted sort of manner. If somebody told me that this was going to be as good as it ended up being, I would have called them insane. But it indeed presented a story that is interesting from the start and plays out into an emotional journey, complete with action, adventure, and the meaning of what it's like to be close friends and what we will go to prove how loyal we are to each other. K-Pop Demon Hunters results in an animated adventure that is beautifully crafted, very well presented, maybe a little bit too over the top at times, but nonetheless makes for a relatable and enjoyable experience for all ages. A slacker scale B+. And the soundtrack? I got to check the ratings on Spotify or Apple Music because it had some good jams in there. Weapons and Freakier Friday have their claws deep at the #2 and #3 spots. You can read my full reviews of all the films that we discussed in this episode by going to WNDU.com and clicking on the Entertainment tab. Well, that's going to conclude this episode of the Slack on Flicks podcast. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all next week when we hit the first week of September.